Hello there, my name is Alex, and this is my first vlog for my YouTube channel. On my channel, I'm going to focus primarily on two factors that have completely changed my life: reading and running. There's a lot of great content on YouTube that usually focuses on one or the other, but I'm interested in making the connection between the two. In my own experience, I've found that reading reinforces a lot of the same principles and disciplines that I need whenever I go out for a run, and vice versa. I've been starting my day off with a cup of coffee and a book for about 3 years now. And it was about the same time that I started reading that I also started running. My family and I were living in Alabama at the time. So it was summertime, it was extremely hot, the humidity was unreal. Initially, I set out to run a mile. I thought that was a pretty modest expectation for somebody as athletic as I was. But I didn't get but about a quarter mile until I realized that I dramatically overestimated where I was at physically and mentally. But now, 3 years later, I'm actually running about 25 to 27 miles a week, and I plan on running my first marathon later this year. So why am I vlogging? Well, I made a couple of videos last year to kind of test the waters and see how I like the process. And even though I discovered that I say a lot, and I have this really annoying habit of clearing my throat, I enjoyed the process overall. I really liked it. So I got some proper gear and I built out a set here in my garage. Also, I think I'm inspired to make content like this because of how much value I personally have received by watching and listening to other people share their experiences. Listening to podcasts like Joe Rogan, who interviews Cam Hanes and Courtney Dauwalter, and ultramarathoners like David Goggins, psychologists like Jordan Peterson, comedians, athletes, just the full spectrum of the human experience. And you know, now that I think about it, I think a lot of the changes that I have made in my own life over the past couple of years have been partially a result of kind of saturating myself in these different mindsets that constantly seek out challenges and are always striving to get better. I've learned so much from these people's experiences, listening to them and trying out some of their practices in my own life. And I guess in the process of learning, embarrassment is just gonna be the cost of entry to make my own contribution. They say that the first 50 videos of any YouTube channel are gonna be pretty awful. So I expect to make my first bad 50 videos, and throughout that process, learn how to improve. Worst case scenario, even if nobody watches these videos, well, I guess my grandma will probably watch, and my mom too, and hopefully my fiance. Yeah, she'll watch. But at the very least, I'm looking forward to the process and all the things that I'm gonna learn throughout this experience. Number one, I think of YouTube as a sort of visual essay board. And I realized whenever I write essays that I think I know a lot about a topic, and then I sit down to write and I put everything I know down on the page. And at some point in that process, I realize that there's a lot of gaps in my understanding. All the flaws get exposed pretty quickly, and that shows you where you have room to improve. So I think that, making these videos will help me to kind of refine my ideas on things. And actually that reminds me of a quote that I heard the other day by a man named George Bernard Shaw. I have it in my phone somewhere. Okay, here it is. It says, "The only man I know who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes his measurements anew each time he sees me, but the rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them." I love that. Before I decided to go back to school to study medicine, I used to be an apparel designer. And I love that quote because it kind of sums up the whole purpose of me making these YouTube videos. It's kind of an opportunity for me to take my measurements on a continual basis and check in with myself and with you all as well. And that'll be cool to have a kind of archive that I can look back on and see how I've changed and kind of document my journey moving through time. It's kind of overwhelming for me, this idea of putting my ideas out into public in this way, but overall, I'm excited. I'm gonna tell the truth, do my best to share valuable experiences with you all, and I think that'll be meaningful. So I'll be uploading videos once a week. You can expect book reviews, insights from books that I read, hopefully in the future, interviews with authors, tips on running, and documentation of my experience hitting new milestones in my athletic training, and also just my own personal investigation of human potential. Finally, this is the part of the video where I ask you to hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to follow my content. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you in the next video.